guys, Brian Stevens, the National Real Estate Post. Okay, so back at it. Told you last week that cash out refinances were down by 15%. That number is insane to me. It should be up 15%, but it's not, and loan officers as an industry should be ashamed that you're not reaching more people who actually need these loans. Why? Well, a whole bunch of reasons. One of them is out of control inflation. We spoke about this. Highest inflation ever, and if you're looking at families that are cash strapped and are holding credit card debt and large installment debt, they need a cash out refinance. Period. I mean, even get it with a higher rate. Show them the savings. All right, if you believe that to be true, and it is, who needs cash out refinances the most? Turns out, senior citizens. Honest and truly. It turns out that those baby boomers, you know, the ones born after the greatest generation ever, never really did get their spending habits under control. Here's a graph of current and future spending habits through the year 2022 by age group. Now, this is put out from the Visa Spending Momentum Index. Yeah, it's Visa. They know something about how you're going to piss your money away. So guess which spike on this graph is the age group representing those 65 and older? That's right, by far the biggest one. And here's a headline from the Wall Street Journal. Older Americans flush with housing and stock portfolio wealth poised to revive spending this year. And here's a quote from the article. We have this big older demographic. Their wealth went up tremendously these past 2 years. Much more available cash on hand. It's quite likely that they're going to boost consumer spending, particularly on experiential categories they've not been able to patronize the last 2 years, like restaurants and hotels. But here's a thing that you have to understand. If you're getting hotels and you're getting restaurants, what else do you need to get? That's right, plane tickets. So what are we seeing from these categories, and what is going to get worse? Well, very simply, the cost. Inflation. Nothing is going up more than the cost of goods, like food, the cost of gas, and the cost of all types of housing, including hotels. Your money will not go as far next year as it did this year. And with the boomers ramping up to spend in these very categories, well, let's just say they'll be looking for monthly reprieves from their newly minted Visa revolving debt, and that's where you come in. We've said this, with our record amount of equity, our trillions in equity that we have right now, eventually we're going to get off the snide and start to spend that money. So what better time before the end of the world with a nuclear war and after a global pandemic? You might say it's the perfect storm. I love this tweet from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Actually, I hate it, and it shows what's at the core problem with the agency. They say even in their short existence, companies are still bad and they're still busting them. Citigroup 5 times, JP Morgan Chase 4 times, Wells 4 times, American Express 3 times, Discover 3 times. What they're saying is, hey, we're great, and those that we regulate are still all crap. See, we just showed you that. Oh, and the more they're crap, the better we are, because we're catching all these filthy financial institutions that screw you over. That's how this whole tweet feels to me. Very, very self-serving. Here's my thinking. An agency with oversight authority of an industry should work like community police officers. Work with those that you police in communities, not at odds with them. You see, regulators like the CFPB should find, spotlight, and reward all the overwhelming great players that are in finance, not just constantly busting people for petty stuff as they just put on display with these credit card agencies. All right, so let's just look at this for a minute if you think I'm nuts. The CFPB has been around since July 2011, almost 11 years. And over that time, with the billions that they take for their operations, and yes, it is billions, you've discovered American Express broke the rules 3 times, that Wells did it 4 times. Do you know how many billions in APRs that are produced each year from these card companies? How many statements they send out? And because the nature of what they do, how many a-holes who don't make their payments and complain? They deal with these people and then you bust them, what, 3 times? You see, to me, this public tweet feels a hell of a lot more like grandstanding. Grandstanding in a manner to publicly shame your subjects at all cost. This tweet does nothing for consumer finance. In fact, if anything, it's going to keep underserved communities from reaching out to these establishments to get access to inexpensive money. And last thoughts, if you have to look good at another person or company's expense, especially those that are subjugated to you, you need to rethink your position. Hey, that's the show for today. Listen, on these cash out refinances, make sure you look at your bank statements. Make sure you look to our friends over here at Oak Tree. They'll help you out with them. Have a good day, and I can't wait to see you until tomorrow. Bye.